Hi everyone, this is CJ with Cyclotron. Well, this is what my garage looks like in Minnesota right now. Which one of these doesn't look like the others? See, I've got my 2020 Katana. On the far end, my boys each have a 2024 Katana. And I've got my Suzuki Hayabusa in the middle of the pack there. You know, a few years ago, I bought my first Suzuki, and I'm becoming a very big fan. My wife's got an SV650, and Suzuki over the last 3 or 4 years is really upping their game, bringing in more technology, new variety of new models, and I think it's pretty exciting. So I did a video, you can check it out here. It was September 2022. It was about the K5 engine variants that Suzuki had available at that time. So that was the S1000, the Katana, and then the S1000 GT. And now Suzuki's announced a new variant. And when I say the K5 engine variant, I'm talking about the GSXS1000 from 2005 to 2008. Suzuki brought that back in the S1000, GSXX1000, back in 2015, the naked style variant. So now they've got 4 models featuring this basic engine platform. The GSXX1000GX, well, that's a mouthful, you know, the alphabet soup thing. I always thought it was weird how Harley had the alphabet soup model name, and really Suzuki's gone all in on that as well. But, you know, if you see the pictures of the bike, obviously you know what the variations are. But this new variant has a lot more tech, has full semi-active suspension, the Skyhook technology, user connectivity on the infotainment. Really nice bike. Now, it's going to cost you a little bit more. So the 2024 Katanas, those were sold from period of September to October of 2023 as a limited special order situation. I don't know how many they sold. I think it's just a few dozen. As I mentioned, we bought 2 of them to get into my boys' hands. They're going to be selling their other bikes in the spring. You know, you've heard me talk about my Katana, my 2020. Absolutely love that bike, and we're going to go do an in-depth video on the Katanas, compare the 2020 to the 2024s in a future video. But you know, Suzuki at EICMA announced this GX bike, and I think it's really interesting. So the other previous variants of the K5 engine all have 5-gallon fuel tanks, and as I mentioned, the Katana has a 3-gallon fuel tank, but they basically have different niches in overall riding experience. Now, if we look at the riding position with the GX, the seat height is 1.4 inches higher than the GT, and the foot peg position is slightly different, as well as the handlebar position. So you can compare the yellow triangle for the geometry from the GT to the blue triangle for the GX. But I have to say, I think it's a beautiful bike. I think it looks like a variant of a Ducati Multistrada. Now, for the bigger Multistradas, those are only offered in terms of V4 engine configurations by Ducati, and those are around $28,000. This GX is a little over $18,000, the GT a little over $14,000, and as I mentioned, the Katana is around $13,800. And the S1000 version, the naked bike, is a real bargain at $11,700 in my opinion. So I think this GX bike, the variant of the K5 platform, is going to appeal to a broader group of riders. You know, adventure touring style motorcycles are hugely popular. There are people who prefer a slightly more upright position, although I love the riding position on the Katana. But with either the GT or the GX, you're going to get more wind protection, a larger screen, the saddlebag options. You also have a tray behind the pillion for hauling gear around. So I just think it's a huge variety that Suzuki's offering to their customers these days. And if I had to speculate what else they could have up their sleeve, how cool would it be to have a GX version of, say, the Hayabusa? You know, adventure touring style bike with a 1340cc inline 4 engine. That would be pretty wild. I don't know if that's in the works, but who knows? I'm surprised by the variety of model introductions they've had over the last few years. You know, some people say this K5 engine platform is too old, and I think that's nonsense. I think for everyday streetability and sportiness, it's a wonderful platform. I mean, I've had mine at a drag strip. Of course, I've got mine with a tune and a performance exhaust, and I've changed the sprockets to get more low to mid-range power, but it's a fantastic bike. And of course, I like my Hayabusa, but you know, sticking with these K5s, they're practically bulletproof, and they're a favorite engine configuration for modders and tuners because you can boost the power and the engines are so reliable. So as I said, I'm going to be featuring the 2024 Katana in an upcoming video. I just wanted to cover this GX release. What do you think? Do you think Suzuki's really upped their game? Have they turned things around? From my standpoint, and trying to be as objective as possible, I really like the looks of these bikes, the various models. I had always been kind of a diehard Yamaha fan, and I kind of started drifting away from Yamaha once they started coming out with the MT bikes. I had an FZ09, which I absolutely loved, but the styling changed to look kind of more robotic with the MT versions of their bikes, and I'm just frankly not a fan. That's just my personal taste. So I think the Suzukis that have been coming out in the last few years are really aesthetically pleasing, and they're considerably cheaper than a Ducati would be for a similar type bike. You know, different type bikes, I get it, but man, the performance that you get for the money, I think, offers a tremendous value here. So I'd be interested in your thoughts on this. Please let me know in the comments section, and please stay tuned for future videos.